On a frigid Arctic morning, the ocean was a vast expanse of white and blue, punctuated by drifting icebergs. The crew aboard the research vessel Arctic Voyager were busy collecting data on the region's fragile ecosystem. Suddenly, one of the crew members spotted an enormous polar bear approaching the ship, its massive white form moving gracefully over the ice. "Captain, you've got to see this," called out Emily, the ship's biologist. Her binoculars fixed on the bear, the crew gathered, murmuring nervously. Polar bears rarely approached human vessels, and when they did, it was often out of desperation. But this bear wasn't acting aggressively. It paused at the edge of the ice near the ship, rising on its hind legs and letting out a deep, resonant growl that seemed almost pleading. Clutched in its jaws was a bundle wrapped in fabric. It gently set the bundle down on the ice, nudging it with its nose before looking up at the humans. That's a baby," gasped Emily, her voice trembling. The captain, a grizzled veteran named James, grabbed the loudspeaker. "Easy there, big fella," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We're coming to help." The crew lowered a small rescue platform to the ice, and Emily, along with two others, cautiously approached. The bear stepped back, watching intently, but making no move to interfere. When they reached the bundle, Emily peeled back the layers of fabric to reveal a tiny human baby, shivering but miraculously alive. "It's a girl," Emily whispered, cradling the baby against her chest. Her mind raced with questions. Where had the baby come from? How had it survived in such a hostile environment? And why had the polar bear brought it here? As they returned to the ship, the bear followed, staying close but keeping its distance. Back on deck, Emily and the ship's medic worked quickly to warm the baby and check for injuries. Meanwhile, the bear remained on the ice, pacing anxiously. It let out another low growl, as if urging them to act quickly. "Captain," Emily said, glancing at the bear through a porthole, "I think it's waiting for us to do something." The crew decided to investigate further. Using binoculars, they scanned the icy horizon. About a mile away, they spotted the wreckage of a small plane, partially buried in the snow. It was clear now. The baby must have been a passenger on that doomed flight, and somehow, this polar bear had found her and decided to intervene. Led by the bear, the crew ventured toward the crash site. The bear stayed close, as if guiding them. When they arrived, they discovered the remains of the plane and a grim scene. Tragically, the other passengers had not survived, but among the wreckage, they found supplies, including identification documents that would later help trace the baby's family. Back on the ship, the baby was stabilized, and the crew marveled at the bear's extraordinary actions. "It's like it knew we could help," James said, shaking his head in disbelief. As the ship prepared to return to port, the bear lingered near the ice. Emily leaned over the rail, holding the baby in her arms. "Thank you," she called out. The bear let out one final growl, a sound that seemed almost like a farewell, before turning and lumbering back across the ice, disappearing into the vast Arctic wilderness. The baby, later named Aurora, became a symbol of hope and resilience. Her story captured hearts worldwide, and the polar bear's remarkable act of compassion became a legend. It was a powerful reminder that, in the harshest of environments, even the most unlikely bonds could form, proving that kindness knows no boundaries.